Matthew Stafford has been a player that has always been left out of the discussion when it comes to awards. The man isn't flashy, and he's not a big media guy either. He just loves playing some ball. And when he's playing some of the best football of his career, providing more value on the gridiron than any of the guys being talked about for MVP, an award that means most value, not most yards, not most wins, not most popular. Let's dive into it. To start off, Stafford got injured and was out for about 1.5 games. He got injured during the game against the Cowboys, where he sprained a ligament in his thumb on this play.
The athletic trainers come over to take a look.
He just kind of throws this ball away and he hits it again. Oh, he hits it again. Immediately on the ground, he grabs it.
So Stafford was out for the next game against the Packers. And it was this game that showed how valuable Stafford is to the Rams and how much of a driving factor he is on the field. Because against a bad, miserable defense, the Rams almost got shut out, barely squeaking out a field goal, and that's with Kupp and Puka in the lineup. But it doesn't end there. Stafford, coming back after the bye, has had this lingering thumb injury on his throwing hand for every single game since. And your thumb and your index finger are the most vital parts in throwing and grasping a football. You would think his play would level off and not be the same. But his play has been steady and great still, coming in clutch in key moments, playing against tough defenses like the Ravens, in which other MVP frontrunners struggled. Stafford methodically picked apart the Ravens defense, only losing because the Rams special teams gave up a punt return for a touchdown in overtime.
On that play, Ethan Evans, the punt, Ravens set to get good field position here. Tylan Wallace from the 25. Tylan Wallace breaks out of a tackle, takes it down the sideline. He stays in bounds. He stays on his feet. He takes it all the way and ends the game. There are no flags.
Lamar, Dak, Brock Purdy, and Allen play well with a banged up thumb on their throwing hand and play great? No, they didn't. Stafford did. And that should be accounted for when looking at his MVP case. Now, when you think MVP, you think of a guy that you can look at and see what he has contributed to a team. And when I look at Lamar, Brock Purdy, Allen, and Prescott, they're not the driving force for every single win. Like Allen against the Cowboys, Lamar against the 49ers, Purdy against the Eagles, and Dak against Detroit. These games stick out as one of the few times that for each of these guys, they are just a passenger in the car. None of them are the leading force in these wins. Josh Allen even admits it here.
I don't think I threw the ball that many times, which, again, I don't just get it done. Let's just find a way to win, and felt like the kid that didn't do anything in the class project but got an A.
It's not to say they haven't this season, but saying that they have great supporting casts, amazing scheme, talented wide receivers, and good offensive lines. Stafford doesn't have that. He has talented wide receivers, but when you look at Kupp, he's not who he used to be, at least for this season. You can look at Puka Nacua, who has blasted past any expectations, is putting on a show of the best rookie wide receiver season we have ever seen. But there's been games where he hasn't shown up, and he wasn't tearing it up. Sean McVay's scheme is great, outstanding. When the offensive line is good though. This year, the offensive line has been pretty hit or miss. But Stafford continues to play at such a high level, making high leverage throws, big time throws. It's been up to him to lead the Rams to success and wins, and it's all on his shoulders to make that happen. But with less of a supporting cast compared to these other players on really talented teams. So I know I said that the current MVP frontrunners are only being talked about because of their statistical production. But two stats that are kind of important when looking at QB production separate from their offenses are big time throws and turnover worthy plays. Stafford leads all these guys in big time throw percentage and turnover worthy play percentage. And that matters because these stats are critical in seeing how much a QB is contributing to the offense. For example, if a QB is not contributing much to an offense, then he will have much fewer big time throws, which means that the offense is creating success through their scheme and playmakers more than the QB is, driving the value down. Another way to think about it is sometimes we will hear that the offense is dialing up plays that create wide open wide receivers. Stafford, along with Dak, has been leading the others in big time throws and turnover worthy plays. When comparing the two guys, you need to then consider what they both have. Stafford and Dak have great wide receivers. I would consider that a tie. Dak has the best offensive line in the NFL, and Stafford has a below average offensive line. In scheme, I will give a slight edge to the Rams, but McCarthy is a pretty good play caller, despite what other people will tell you. I'm not saying by any of this that Stafford is the slam dunk MVP, but I consider him the MVP by the value he has brought to the table while being injured, while not having the best supporting cast around him like other frontrunners. Who do you think the MVP is this year? Is it Lamar or is it another guy? Do you agree that Stafford should be considered at the very least? Please comment down below. Also, if you like this video, you will like this one.